Day 731 being Christopher Cruz. It's 4:44 when I picked up my phone to record this. I'm at the park right down the street, Griffith Park. Need to get out in nature. Whew. These last few days have been challenging. So challenging, and so confronting. Like, yeah. I just don't want to do anything. I just feel like yes, I was praying this morning and I felt called to read Job, which is long, but it came to my mind, like the story of Job where he was living life, everything was great, and then Satan came to God, and God gave him permission to wreck his life, and to test his faith. And I could relate to a lot of the things that Job was saying. And but it made me realize, what I'm feeling right now is a lot of loneliness, because I'm angry or frustrated or have unforgiveness with pretty much everyone in my life right now, because I feel like I've been hurt by everyone. I feel like just recently, I've just I think people have unintentionally hurt me, and it hasn't gotten cleared up. And it's everyone that I care about, there's just something on the list. And it was first coming off as anger and frustration and resentment, and then it was me being frustrated at myself, and now it's realizing that I'm just hurt. I feel maybe sad or betrayed, or I don't matter, or a multitude of other things, and that's what's really going on. And I was reading something in Job, and it just made me realize I've made them all wrong, but I'm the one that's wrong, which takes a different level of humility, a different level of self-awareness to be able to, when you can justify with all the reasons in the world how someone else has done you wrong, but then you are the one that has to apologize, or you're the one that looks at yourself and looks at your role in it, and takes not the blame, but takes responsibility for how you feel. That's challenging. Most people don't do that, because it's very confronting, and it destroys your pride and your ego, and it's not fun or comfortable to do. But I just look at everyone, and what I've realized is that they have done some things, and it has hurt me, even though it probably was not intentional. But where was my compassion in the situation? Where's my compassion towards them? They did what they did for a reason, and hurt people. And so it's what are they going through that had them do that or say that? What are they experiencing? Get into their world and try to understand them. And then I'm reading the Bible, and God just shows me this vision of I called you to lift these people up, and you're actually holding them down, and you're shooting arrows at them with your resentment and your anger and your frustration, your gossip and your blaming. I put you in these people's lives to pull them up, and you're actually holding them down. And I drew this picture of me standing at the top of the hill, and all these people in my life that I love and care about that I'm supposed to be pulling to the top of the hill, and I'm actually shooting arrows downhill and hitting them and keeping them stuck down there and having them fall even farther down the hill. And it's just oh God, it's just God, I don't know if I can do that. Like, I don't know if I can pull these people up. Like, I don't know if I can be the bigger person. Like, I don't feel like how I can do it. I don't feel like I have what it takes to be able to have that much humility and to destroy my pride that much. And like, I don't want to be a pushover and like, you know, all this stuff. And it's just like, I look at that image and it's like, I know everyone that's in my life, like, I know I'm meant to pull them up and pull them farther into the light or more out of the darkness. Like, I know that. But it's like God has given me this challenge where it's like, it's not just one person that's challenging for me. It's like every person that's challenging for me. And I feel like instead of like pulling them up, because I've tried to pull them up and I've struggled, or it's been confronting or whatever, like, I feel like I don't have what it takes. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make them wrong. Fuck it, I'm just gonna be mad at them or upset at them, or I'm just gonna point fingers and not look at myself. You know, I'm gonna say they're the ones that are not growing, not me. And yeah. And so I feel like God is really calling me to be a bigger person than I've ever been. And I don't know if I know how. Like, I feel like I don't know how to be as big of a person as God is calling me to be, because I'm not offended by one person in my life. I'm offended by every person in my life. And when I think about it, like, it's justified. Like, some shit that's happened is not cool. And so it's like, God, I don't think I'm strong enough to be able to forgive and ask for forgiveness. Like, yeah. So that's what I'm kind of battling with right now. So yeah, it's just, I've just felt really shitty. I've just felt like I just want to quit. I just want to give up. Like, I don't want to play this game anymore. I don't want to be on this crazy ass journey anymore. Like, it's not fun. It's not worth it. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. And maybe that's why God called me to read Job, because, you know, he got to the point where he lost all of his wealth. You know, he lost all of his kids, and then he got all these boils and sores all over his body, and he could barely move. And he just said, I just want to give up. I just want to quit. And I was like, yeah, I can relate to that. That's what I've been feeling the last couple of days. Like, I just want to give up. I just want to quit. I don't want to do this journey anymore, God. Like, I don't want to live into my purpose anymore. I just want to go back to a normal, comfortable life that was actually not comfortable at all. It sucked, but I didn't have the challenges that I have now. And so there's like this part of me where it's just like, I just want to give up because I don't have the strength to get through this. Like, how am I supposed to get through this? How am I supposed to forgive and be the bigger person in every situation? You know, how am I supposed to do this and do that? And yeah, it's just, I don't know how, but I believe that God is supposed to give me the strength to do that. I'm just waiting for it. So I know I need to forgive, and I know I need to apologize to everyone. And yeah. So I have a coaching call in an hour and a half, and all I really want to do is just sleep and just forget about everything. And I feel like I don't really have anyone to talk to, like, because everyone that I love or feel close to, I feel kind of betrayed by, or upset at, or hurt by. And so I don't really feel comfortable talking to anyone. So it's just like me and God. But I feel like a conversation with God is pretty a one-way conversation. I'm not at the level where I can have a back and forth conversation with God. So it feels pretty lonely. So just trying to get through it. So I've got all that, and on top of that, I got to figure out how I'm going to pay rent in 3 days. So it's like, that's just like fucking awesome. It's great. Like, God is just squeezing the life out of me. Like, I'm just in the fire. Like, I'm in the crushing. And it sucks. It sucks. But as I was driving here, I asked myself this question. This question popped into my head. Who am I going to be once I'm out of this little season? Like, who am I going to be once this is done? And that was like, wow. Like, I'm going to be a person I've never been before. To be able to get through what I'm going through right now emotionally, to be able to forgive and to be this big person that God is calling me to be, and have this much level of compassion and this much humility, like, and to let go of this much offense that I have in my heart. Like, man, the kind of person I'm going to be after this is going to be just freaking powerful. Powerful. So that gives me hope, because when you're in it, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It is just really hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, really pulley. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm going to come out of this the moment I step into the level of humility that God is calling me to step into. So, the moment I get the fuck over myself, and the moment I get over being right, and being a victim, and blaming everyone. Although most of the world would say, hey, these are legitimate complaints you have. Hey, what this person said or did, that's legitimate. You should be upset. But God wouldn't say that. So it's like I have to elevate to a different standard of compassion and humility and love. And it's just like, wow, it's so challenging. And to then see how I'm the asshole in all of it. Like, to see, like, to go from, hey, I feel like people have treated me like shit, to I'm the asshole. Like, that takes that's a different kind of human being. That's a different kind of human being. And God is calling me to be that. And so, and I'm not exactly sure how to be that yet, but it's coming. And when it does, the level of freedom that I'm going to feel, and the level of connection, and I think my relationship with God, like, I think everything will be transformed. I feel like maybe that's the financial block, like the thing that's blocking my blessings, because I've been dealing with unforgiveness for months, with my roommate, and then recently, just over the last couple weeks, with everyone else in my life. And it's just it sucks. So I'll come out of it, and I will come out of it a very different person than I am right now and than I was a few days ago. It's just like God is calling me to that next level of growth. And I feel like I don't know how to get there, because I've never been that person before. I've never been that loving of a person before. I've never been that humble of a person before. I've never been that compassionate of a person before. So it's like He's calling me to be something that I've never been, and that I don't know how to be. And so that's the challenging part. It's like, okay, God, so what do I do? Okay, I need to forgive everyone, and I need to apologize. I need to have some conversations and send some messages. And that's all I know to do. I don't know anything beyond that. But that's clearly the first step, so I don't need to worry about step number 2 if I haven't taken step 1 yet. So, yeah. Yeah. So that's my life right now. Being in nature helps. I feel like I can breathe. So, yeah. I'm gonna have to give in, surrender. This is living into your potential. This is living into your purpose. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your entire life. And you're going to be more challenged than you've ever been in your life. And you're going to want to quit more than you've ever wanted to quit anything in your life. Here's the living proof right here. And I can't fix this by going to the gym or waking up early or eating healthy, or that doesn't fix it. The worldly things don't fix the spiritual problems. And the spiritual problem I have right now is pride and unforgiveness and all this other bullshit. Also, look how giant that spider is. Okay. This is why people who find their purpose and live into it have to be warriors, because you are going to fight the hardest battles of your life, and most of them are going to be spiritual. Most of them are going to be mental and emotional battles, not physical battles. You know, you're most likely not going to be fighting people physically, but you're going to be fighting the negative emotions. You're going to be fighting the devil. You're going to be fighting the temptation and the pride and the lust and the greed and everything. And that's why you gotta be a warrior. Like, you're gonna get beat the fuck up. And it's like, okay, do you still have the strength to get up after you've been knocked down again and again and again? But like when you look at, you know, movies with warriors, they get knocked down and like their face is in the dirt and they're laying there and they're just about to be defeated. And then something gives them strength and they get up one more time and they swing their sword one more time and they defeat the enemy. And from that moment on, they're a different person. They're stronger than they've ever been, so they can fight bigger battles than they've ever fought and go to places that they've never been. And so this, on the outside, I think looks like a pretty small battle that I'm fighting. Like, hey, some people offended you, forgive them, let it go. But internally, it feels like a massive battle. You know, the emotions that I have, the betrayal I feel, the loneliness that I feel, the sadness that I feel, you know, that's no joke. And it's heavy and it's depressing and it's just like destroys your energy. Like I just want to go to sleep and keep sleeping and keep sleeping and keep sleeping. And it's rough. But I just got to keep my eyes forward. Like, hey, there's an end to this tunnel and there is light at the end of it. And it's going to be the brightest light that you've ever lived in. And then there's going to be another tunnel and another light and another tunnel, another light. Welcome to being a warrior of God. The battles never end, but victory is your destiny. The battles just get bigger and harder and darker. But the growth that you get from them is like, wow. I haven't experienced the growth that I'm supposed to get from this yet, but I can imagine it, and I can imagine it's incredible, and I'm gonna be so empowered and so loving and so generous with my compassion and so understanding of people. And I think the big thing that the big breakthrough that I'm gonna have in this is I'm in control of my emotions, and it doesn't matter what other people say, what other people do. I don't have to allow that to become my truth. I don't have to allow that to permeate my soul. Like, I'm in control of my soul. and I'm not going to give it to the enemy anymore. I'm not going to give permission for the enemy to come in and attack me. I'm not going to remove my armor. So that would be a huge breakthrough. And to be able to just love people exactly where they're at, that's a big one. Love people exactly where they're at. Not take anything personally, and understand that, hey, whatever they're going through, whatever they're saying, whatever they're doing is simply a result of what they're going through. So just love them where they're at. You don't got to change them. You don't got to fix them. You don't got to disconnect from them. You don't got to run away from them. If God has them in your life, they're meant to be in your life. Love them where they're at. Love them where they're at, and wherever they're at has nothing to do with you. That's tough. That's like, as I'm saying, this is next level stuff. God, please help me. Please help me, God. If you're up there, if you're in here, if you're around here, please help me, please. I'm ready to get out of this. I'm ready to get out of this darkness that I'm stuck in. It is just horrible. It's just so not me. Like, one of the greatest benefits in this whole experience is the contrast and feeling, okay, here's what it feels like to be connected to God and be walking in God's light, even on a small scale like I have been. Like, that's probably nothing compared to what's possible. But here's what it's like to walk with God versus here's what it's like to walk on your own. Like a life with God in it and a life with God out of it. And it's just drastically different emotionally. Physically, it's like nothing has really changed. Like, still living my life. But emotionally, it's literally the difference between like heaven and hell. Massive difference emotionally, spiritually, energetically, mentally. Such a big difference. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I am grateful to experience the two, even though this end of it that I'm in right now fucking sucks. But I'm grateful for it. So, and it's not permanent. This is only temporary. It's only temporary. Thank God. Thank God. Because I have just been wrecked. And nothing fixes it. Literally nothing. But God gave me the answer today. So I know what I gotta do. Forgive and apologize and love everyone. And get the fuck over myself. Which that's been hard because it's like I just had this breakthrough in being a pushover. So it's like, how do I forgive and let go and love without being a pushover? Without being such a nice guy? So that's what I got to figure out too. Fun, fun, fun. It's like God is pulling me through all of this right now while I'm also trying to figure out how the fuck I'm going to pay rent. It's like, really? Like, you're just going to throw everything at me. Like, everything, huh? You're just going to... I mean, it's not everything, but it feels like everything. Like, God. But... I got nothing. I got nothing. Anyway, I got to do my coaching call, but it's beautiful.